on 5/19 in a sold-out Madison Square Garden. Diesel and Razor, who were departing for WCW after the show, participated in the infamous curtain call, where they broke kayfabe by essentially doing a big bow and hug fest with their real-life friends and the men that they had fought earlier in the night, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, in front of the MSG crowd. So this incident would lead to so much heat with WWF officials that Triple H, who was set for a big push and King of the Ring victory in June, would be put on the shit list for a while, and now Steve Austin would go on to win the King of the Ring. So a lot to cover there, Ted. Let's start here. Hall and Nash, two of the top guys in the WWF at the time, and now they're gone during a period when the WWF is in a full-blown rebuild and kind of struggling at times. Do you feel like this was a devastating blow to the company?
I don't know how devastating. I mean, a blow for sure. But the thing that I have to honestly say is I always had a lot of respect for Vince's savvy. And I mean, you don't grow a company the way he did in the time that he did. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yes.
I mean, by now we're international. Like pro wrestling has gone from a territorial thing, maybe some in Canada and across the United States, to this great big machine called the WWE, and now we're even going international. So um, obviously, if I was Vince, I'd be pissed, but it's kind of like different guys. Different guys do it different ways. I don't know what was trying to be proved here. I guess is my point.
I've heard a lot of people echo the sentiment that, yep, business was down and Hall and Nash leaving, it sucked, but they trusted Vince and his intelligence and what he'd done up to this point, that like, okay, things are down, but he's going to build it back up. And of course he did. The curtain call had a lot of people upset behind the scenes, saying that the Click was basically just making a mockery of wrestling and building in a building where the WWF had made its name. What was your take on the whole situation?
And I wasn't impressed. I mean, it's kind of like you can have your disagreements and what have you, but I just I don't. I guess what my point is, I don't know. What were they trying to prove?
I've heard Hall and Nash, and by the way, I love both guys. I think they're
Yeah,
great performers, and I know Nash, and he's
yeah.
always been nice to me.
Stand up
But
guy. I like him
he,
too.
absolutely. And I've heard them position it as like, a lot of people thought it was for us, but really we were saying goodbye to the Madison Square Garden crowd. We were really proud of ourselves that we sold it out on our final night, and all that kind of thing, which I understand. But at the same time, it is kind of like, I can see why some people viewed it as a slap in the face to Vince, like a final fu before they left.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know, but I mean, because of course, it doesn't sound like that's what you know. That's not what he was trying to say.
Yeah, I don't think that was the intention, but man, it got a lot of people upset, and like I mentioned, Triple H, he temporarily loses his push, which leads directly to Steve Austin winning the King of the Ring. At King of the Ring, Austin would famously utter his Austin 316 phrase at Jake Roberts after the victory. So if the curtain call hadn't happened, you could kind of make the argument that maybe Steve Austin wouldn't have become Steve Austin. Certainly, he wouldn't have had the opportunity to say the Austin 316 thing.
Yeah,
I mean, what do you think? Do you think his rise was inevitable just because of his talent?
timing's everything in this business or any business, and you know, I think he was the right guy at the right time at the right place. And I guess we could speculate, until we're blue in the face as to whether that the curtain call thing would have made any difference or if it wouldn't. Um, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. And I wasn't as concerned then, in terms because I mean it's kind of like my life had taken a change, and I was, I guess you might say, I wasn't paying as close of attention as I would have been had I been actively wrestling.